Hey, welcome to the video, guys. Gonna do a little voiceover here. Decided to take the Nissan Pro-4X out, and it's kind of been very underutilized. Less than 2,500 miles on the truck in over a year that I've owned it, and or total for the truck actually. It's still brand new. And I was kind of babying it, didn't even take it out really when it rained or anything. I just was a garage queen. And then today all of a sudden I decided, hey, why not go and do a little light off-roading? So we headed out, didn't have any destination, just thought we'd go drive around. We were actually looking for a hike, but saw a little side road and ended up over here, initial point in Idaho. Interesting story with this one. It's a land survey point, and I think it's one of the first ones in Idaho actually. So the survey system was all started in order to sell off land to pay for the Revolutionary War debts, and you know, this is Idaho's, I guess, first survey point, and it's on this little hill, and it is, you know, somewhat of a road. It's kind of graded, but a lot of washout that left a lot of rock exposed. And it's been a while since I off-roaded. You know, I used to have a Jeep Wrangler that I would take out, but it's been years and years. And so I think obviously the video flattens everything out, but sitting in the truck, you kind of feel it moving around and going over all these rocks. And I was a little concerned. The truck's bone stock, stock suspension, stock wheels and tires, and it's got the factory rake with the nose down attitude. And so my main concern wasn't so much, you know, making it up this road. There's no doubt that it would. I didn't have to engage the locker or anything. I did go in 4 low, but left the rear axle unlocked and just kind of crawled up here. No wheel slip, nothing. I mean, it just handled great. Didn't have to air down, didn't have to do anything. So we just walked up here. But my main concern was the ground clearance. And I just was a little bit nervous about how it was going to do over some of these rocks. And it did great. No complaints at all. I mean, it was just fantastic. I had one little kind of drop off of rock, but it's my fault. I have no spotter. It's kind of hard to see out of the truck with the long hood and everything else. But dropped off a rock a little bit, just kind of touched a running board on the driver's side, and that was it, you know. But these things are pretty rugged, and no damage, no scratches, nothing. So handled this little path great. Again, the video flattens everything out. It's actually kind of high and steep here, but it just looks like it's very flat, right? And it's just the nature of video, especially when you go very fisheye wide angle on the iPhone, which is what this was filmed on. My wife hopped out of the truck and was just walking around as I was doing my thing and heading up here. And here we're coming up to that summit, and you can see it's another little rock up there with stairs, and there's actually a little medallion baked into the floor that they did. They cast it into the floor, and it tells you that it's the initial point for Idaho. Very cool. Again, as far as the truck, very pleased with it. It was a little bouncy, but again, it didn't air down. It was probably around 33-ish, maybe 32 PSI on the tire pressure. Could have probably did it in 2-wheel drive, but just thought I'd just crawl up there because, again, I just didn't want to bang it up underneath on all the rocks. And there you see in the background, there's a little hill climb up there, which is at the end of the video. We went up there and did a little hill climb. That one's very steep, and again, my wife and daughter with me, and they were kind of nervous about going up there, but again, the truck just crawled, no problem whatsoever. Even with the stock tires, again, no wheel slip on that little mountain in the back there with snow covered, and it did great. Yep, here's the medallion for the initial point here. The start of all land survey in Idaho. Very cool. There's me sporting a holiday mustache. And us now just crawling our way back down. Same type of story, just put it in low gear and just let it walk itself down. Looks very, very flat, but in fact it isn't. There's some kind of boulders and rocks that are sticking out. You know, some are pretty tall, and I just didn't want to bang up the other side of the truck given how loose. You can see it was a pretty cold day. Not a lot of sun out, but very dry and doing pretty well. You could see a little bit of how the truck's moving around and bouncing over these things. That gives you a little bit of an idea of the fact that it's not very smooth there. My wife's doing the best she could to hold on to the phone there, but it was definitely a bouncy little section here. And in the background there, you could actually see the hill climbs. Again, the camera doesn't do it justice, flattens everything out. We're pretty high. Those mountains, or those hills are pretty high. And here we're just at the end of the descent from initial point, and we're about to go and try a little hill climb up there. And actually didn't capture any of the climb up, but you will see us coming down the hill. The one thing I'll say about the truck though, it is hard to see out of. The hood's very long, so you lose sight of what's ahead of you. You kind of have to look, you know, while you have visibility, and then just hope that you got it right, unless you have a spotter that guides you along the way. Like here, when I was coming down this hill, I didn't see anything. And those ruts are also a bit deep, and I didn't want to high center it, so I was gonna kind of go on top of the ruts, and so I was very far off, you know, to my right, left the screen, and then I was like, it feels a little off. Again, totally blind there. And so I went back into the main path. The truck does have that 360-degree camera, and you could actually have it on while you're driving. But again, because the camera flattens everything out, it's still difficult to tell exactly where you are from the truck. And the skid plate's doing its thing, knocking the little weeds down and taking the weed damage. And here again, I'm trying to make it out of the ruts a little bit so I don't get hung up on high center there. It is a little bit deeper in the ruts than it looks here. Stock tires. This was kind of the only place where they were slipping a little bit, trying to get out of the rut, but even like on the way down, you could see I just had low gear, just let it walk itself down, no brakes, nothing, and did fantastic. So very pleased with the truck. It was super fun on the way back. Took the traction control off and just did a little burnouts and blasting down that road. It was super fun. Thanks for watching. See you next time.